Oh, geez, Dragon. I have a little bit of a cough. You know what that means?
It's a facetious Oscar-related evening.
It means I think I have Oscar fever.
Oh,
I'm sorry, that was a dumb joke.
yeah.
Oscar fever, baby. Yeah, that's right, folks. It's the 2022 Oscar Nominations Podcast, where we ask the daring questions: who will win, who should win, and who should have been nominated. That's right. Very excited for this one. This is a tradition we do every year. I'm excited to get into it. Dragon, I will say this year, there are a lot of wild cards. Like, I'm sure that you weren't following the actual, like, Oscar race as closely as I was. But suffice to say, I feel like in almost every one of the major categories, there's at least one kind of shocking thing that got in there. And in a lot of instances, there's a shocking snub in like at least like 3 or 4 categories. I think this year has been one of the most unpredictable in a while, and I'm excited about that. It's going to make the end race a little bit more compelling. Although, granted, I do think that Power of the Dog at this point, it's kind of at a groundswell. I think it's going to walk away with, it got the most nominations. I think it'll get the most wins, but we'll cross that road when we get there. That guy says, I'm trying to think of the movie I found most annoying, because that's probably the one that's going to win Best Picture. Well, that guy, if it's anything like a little movie called Dragon, I'm so sorry, Green Book. All right.
So petty with the Green Book.
Yeah, Green Book was petty. Green Book was a petty
Oh,
movie.
it was not petty. Get off your soapbox. It was not petty.
Anyways, okay. So Dragon, do you have any like hot reactions to the Oscars, or do you want to just dive right into it?
I mean, I'll say this. I gotta be honest. For the most in a while, most disconnected I've been from the Oscars in a while.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair.
I just remember when I was going through a list. I remember when you brought up like, "Hey, it's time to do the Oscars." I was like, do we really want to do it this year? Because just kind of the energy's kind of. I know we're going to. I'm just saying, it just felt a little, it's a little weird doing it because I just can't get really excited about it this year. I don't know.
All right, Dragon, I'm going to keep you on your toes because we're going to go through the list in the order that I have them laid out. Just a few ground rules here, folks. There's a couple categories we're not going to talk about just because we don't have strong opinions on the nominations or potential like replacement nominations. So those categories would be short film live action, international feature film, documentary short subject, and Dragon, I believe we're also not covering short film animated, right?
No, we're not doing the short. Well, honestly, we're just not doing any of the short films.
So we're just not doing any of the shorts. That's simple enough. No shorts, no foreign films. I feel bad about the international films, guys. I'm sorry. It's just that this wasn't a year like 2021 or 2020. 2020, yeah, 2020 was the year that had another round. God, all this.
Okay, the point being, the foreign films have been kind of already. They're kind of in the other categories already. So
that's true.
Don't really a big need to like kind of isolate them as is. So it's like they're going to be representing the other categories anyway. So we're all good.
So Dragon, we're going to start with our favorite category.
Oh boy,
documentary.
Yes.
So once again, there's no pop culture. Well, I guess Summer of Soul counts as pop culture.
Yeah.
But of course, Dragon, I knew that becoming or listening to Kenny G wasn't going to make this. It wasn't even on the short list of 15. So it's like, I literally knew it wasn't going to make this, but man, I mean, for me, becoming Kenny G was, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep calling it becoming Kenny G. It's listening to Kenny G. That was like by far my favorite documentary of the year.
It's the origin story of how a man becomes Kenny G.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. It's no Won't You Be My Neighbor. Won't You Be My Neighbor is still, I think, one of the most infamous Oscar snubs that we've ever covered. Thus why this category in particular kind of has a sore spot for us.
Because Tiki and I love documentary features. We do,
And we just feel like, I'm sure all these documentaries are great in their own right. I've actually heard really good things about Flea. We'll actually talk about Flea when we get into animated feature too. But other than that, man, like, I've heard of Flea. I've heard of Summer of Soul. I haven't even heard of any of these others.
I did a cursory look into all of these movies, so I can just tell you what I can know from a cursory glance.
Oh dear.
I haven't watched any of these films, but I've looked into these films. Kind of have formed like an opinion from the trailers, essentially. So, yeah, Ascension to so first of all, so what do you want to do? You want to do like so basically literally how it is in the crawl, right? Just in that order.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm convinced the two movies I really don't want to win are going to win.
Oh
that's
God!
Usually the documentary category.
What are that? Yeah. That's pretty much how it goes. My Octopus Teacher, Free Solo.
Yeah. Okay. So, Ascension or Writing with Fire are probably going to win because they seem to be the most boring documentaries of the bunch to me. Because Ascension is literally Ascension is the most boring. Looks to me just based on the trailer. You think the trailer with a documentary, you want to have a good sell trailer to really get you into it. They botched the trailer. That's not a good omen for any documentary. The Ascension trailer is the most dull thing I've ever seen. Where it's like, hey, we're working in China. That's it. It's pretty much like, hey, China. That's all it is. It's like it's not even like it just seems to be, hey, it's China and we're working. That's about it. It's like I think looking for jobs in China, which is not really exciting to me at all. And then you have Writing with Fire, which is just that one seems to be very much like the please give me an Oscar movie of like it's a young woman, trying to be a writer.
All right. Well, based on my, I'm actually kind of thinking that Summer of Soul is going to take this, just based on cultural impact.
That's the only one okay, so that's the thing. Summer of Soul, I could buy as a winner. I think you're rolling money with that. So I think that'd be the palpable winner. I mean, it wouldn't be my ideal. That's not the one I think should win, but I think in terms of what will win, that'd be the most.
Do you think Flea should win?
Tiki, that's the thing. So here's what I think. I think either Attica or Flea should win. Now,
what is Attica about? I know.
Okay, now Tiki, you're gonna love this. Okay, so right now, Showtime. It's a Showtime documentary. First off, and secondly, Showtime is making all the right moves right now. Tiki, because Showtime put their full-length documentaries on YouTube. You can watch. Watch Attica for free.
Nice
on YouTube. I don't think you technically have to. I'm not sure what your state is with that right now, but if you wanted to, it's there.
But what's the sell on it?
Okay, so Attica apparently, and I'm definitely going to look into this thing. It looks really interesting, and that's why it's my front runner. Apparently, there was a prison riot that happened. It kind of covers this prison riot that happened for a number of days.
For that, yeah.
So that looks really interesting. I'm going to look into it. I didn't know it was like available on YouTube or anything. I don't know if they're doing that purely for the Oscars or was that way. Because a bunch of Showtime full-length documentaries that are on YouTube for some reason. I'm not complaining. Flea. Now, Flea on the other hand, that's the other one I think should win because Flea is a really ingenious idea. Here's the thing. I'm not sold on necessarily. I love the format of Flea based on the trailer, and it's a guy doing an interview, and to protect his identity, the whole thing is animated.
Yeah.
That's such a brilliant idea to me. I think that's such a cool idea, and I've never seen a documentary really approached like that far with like let's animate the documentary. So I love that idea. I'm just not crazy about the story, so I'm leaning a little bit more to Attica, but either of those two, just for the revolutionary purpose of if Flea God for documentary, that'd be really cool.
All right. Yeah, and I'm sticking kind of with Summer of Soul just as kind of like the feel good, like you said, the most palatable one. I feel like both for general audiences and for like the Academy voting block.
Soul just seems to be the gimme of like, okay, well, it's good enough, But now
it's good enough, pretty much.
Okay, so the snub for me. Snub for me, I think for you too, but I know you. I don't know if you had any other documentaries other than this one. Big snub for me. Bob Ross and Happy Accidents, Green.
Yes, I mean, I freaking knew it, Dragon. I mean, it's like it wasn't nearly as high profile as "Won't You Be My Neighbor" and "Won't You Be My Neighbor" wouldn't even get in,
Seriously, folks, if you want to see what the real best documentary of 2021
besides
was,
listening to Kenny G.
Fine. Besides, whatever. Fine. My point is, if you want to see one of the best documentaries of 2021, watch the Bob Ross documentary on Netflix, or another snub, Val. Val was pretty good. On Amazon.
Oh yeah, and now that you mention it, I'm kind of surprised that Val.
That's what I'm saying. I'm also surprised. Val seemed like a shoo-in for a documentary.
It did, yeah. I mean, Dragon, I honestly think that's just proof that the Academy just fucking hates documentaries about show business.
This is ridiculous.
Which is weird because they love movies about show business.
I know, right? The point being, folks, the 2 documentaries along with the Kenny G thing as well. So those 3 documentaries.
Which is also about show business.
As I'm saying, those 3 documentaries would be like the actual contenders you wanna. Be careful to drop shadow, Tiki. Yeah, let's go on.
I'm trying. All right.
Yeah,
so next we're gonna get to sound.
Okay, which this was we've been campaigning for this for many years. We just wanted the sound to be kind of lumped into each other. This is a good change.
Think it's nice. Yeah.
So 1 point for the Oscars.
I'm going to be pretty simple with this one.
Right.
Will win Dune. Should win Dune.
I'm going to say will win West Side Story. Should win Dune. Snub. Honestly, I don't think there's any major complaints with sound. I just kind of threw one in there just for the heck of it. Ghostbusters Afterlife, because the sound design was kind of pivotal to the movie, so it was well executed.
Yeah, I threw in A Quiet Place Part 2, but by the same token, I'm not I don't even think that A Quiet Place Part 2 is better sound wise than any of these. I mean, I don't even like Belfast that much, and I can admit that the sound in Belfast is one of the best aspects of it. So.
I don't have any major. Honestly, I don't have a lot of major snubs on my list. I just kind of filled in just to fill them in. Just okay, this could have been nominated. There's no reason I couldn't have been.
But honestly, I'd be surprised if Dune does not get. I think Dune is going to walk away. I think Power of the Dog is going to walk away with a lot of the big time awards, and I think Dune is going to walk away with a lot of the technical awards.
Yeah, I don't know how justified that is, given that Dune's in kind of a tricky place, given what it is. And it's a part 1, and it's also it's a lauded kind of story, and it's I don't know. It's Dune's kind of complicated as far as
it is complicated. You're right about that.
Yeah, and it's kind of you're awarding it, but you're awarding it for the right reasons. It's kind of weird.
Okay, next up, this is one of my personal favorites, just because it's very easy to distinguish in on screen. Production design.
Okay.
So, what do you think?
Okay, I think either Dune or West Side Story is going to win. I think I'm just going to guess West Side Story is going to win, but again, this might be an excuse for Dune's going to clean up, just again with a lot of awards. So Dune is possible. Again, whether it's deserved, I mean, I don't know. In terms of what should, absolutely, Nightmare Alley, man. Nightmare Alley should get the Oscar.
Actually, yeah. Come to think of it, I have the French Dispatch on my list, and I mean, I think that's an admirable one, but yeah, Nightmare Alley absolutely is the bigger snub now that I think about it.
Well, no, Tiki, it's right there. It's not a snub. I'm saying it should win.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that's it. So Nightmare Alley, I mean, Del Toro never skimps on production design, and I love that every detail in the therapist office is it's reflective of character, and it's oh, I love it. So I think it absolutely should get production design. In terms of the snub, I just kind of had a gimme for them. Your snub was a lot better, so you actually had a legit snub.
The French Dispatch, yeah.
Yes, me, I just kind of threw one in there because I just feel passionately kind of about defending this movie, because I wish people would kind of give it a shot, because it was the one good action movie on Netflix people should have watched this year. Gunpowder Milkshake, I'm just going to throw it in there. Not fervently, but seriously, Gunpowder Milkshake, to the point where I'm still bringing up, it had really nice production design.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it should win, but it should have, we've been really refreshing. Oh, man, look, they're really inclusive with everyone this year. The Gunpowder Milkshake a bone. Look at that.
So I do think that this is another one that Dune is going to clean up.
Yeah.
But I am personally rooting for West Side Story.
I think it has an equal shot at actually getting it, Tiki.
Because I think West Side Story, what West Side Story did, as far as the production design goes, it looks both timeless, and it's also a really clever and ingenious update to the story, where the whole thing is taking place in a gentrified neighborhood that's halfway under construction.
Yeah.
I really, really think the design of West Side Story is really on point. And like I said, yeah, my snub is definitely French Dispatch. I just think French Dispatch, it's Wes Anderson and at his most Wes Anderson. If you nominate Grand Budapest, I think you'd have to nominate this.
No, it's sound logic. Honestly, had I thought about that movie, I would have made it a snub too, but I think yeah.
All right, next up, what do you know? Something that Dune is most likely going to win, Dragon. I sense a pattern here. We have, now I'm going to have to look for it. Visual effects. So yeah, for this, I think it's pretty cut and dry. Will win Dune, should win Dune.
Yeah, I'm thinking Dune will win. I think Free Guy should win.
I'm honestly kind of happy to see Free Guy up there.
Yeah, I am too. I'm happy that they got at least something. So I think especially with the VFX. Seriously, Free Guy did really kill with the VFX. I think that's a really deserved place, and I'm rooting for it personally. I don't think it's going to get it. I'm rooting for it. Let me tell you what I think a snub is. Now, again, this is not a first. I'll tell you this much. This is a snub I think really could have been swapped with one of the picks on this list. So I'll stand by this snub. I think Shang-Chi should have been replaced with the Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's a good pull.
Because you had a lot of impressive stuff.
I didn't even think about the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
My thought process was Quiet Place Part 2, if not pretty much exclusively for that one shot towards the beginning of the thing, like climbing out of the bus as the car is going in reverse. I mean, there's some really, really striking imagery in that movie. Okay. But no, I mean, I definitely think like Suicide Squad just throughout its runtime has more visual effects for sure. So that's a good pull.
No.
And I would also replace Shang-Chi. I mean, Shang-Chi looks really good, but a lot of the visual appeal of Shang-Chi actually comes from the practical stuff.
Yeah. I agree, but that's what I'm saying. Like, really, and I don't think we need, the CG dragon does not really help the visual effects.
Exactly. Yeah. But
also, I'm going to call Marvel out on this, and I'm not saying Marvel shouldn't be, shouldn't get, like nominations for other aspects of the movies. And I'm saying ordinarily visual effects or something like Endgame or like Infinity War for the Thanos of it all. Like those movies definitely deserve visual effects. I don't think they got them if I recall correctly. But ordinarily though, Marvel really has to work on their whole color correction thing, like the whole the little
that's been a running issue with them.
I don't know what their deal is with that. I really don't. It's like the one knock I can really say against an MCU movie on the regular like that. It's like, man, what is with the color corrections?
Right. Okay, Dragon. Next up, we are going to go to another one of my favorite categories because like as far as filmmaking goes, this is like the one thing I actually have some experience in: editing. Okay, what do you think?
Okay, I think it's between two things for what will win. I think just de factoing it is more like just to spite me. I think King Richard or Power of the Dog is going to get it. Here's what I think should get it for editing, because I like this guy's work. Honestly, I'm more so rooting for the editor than I am the movie, but just on principle, the movie also had like some solid editing. But Don't Look Up. I like
Don't Look Up is solid.
It's not really a banner year for the editing thing, honestly. I mean, can you speak to Tick Tick Boom? How good's the editing in Tick Tick Boom?
I actually think Tick Tick Boom absolutely should win here.
All right, well that's fair.
Should.
Well, there you go.
Because Tick Tick Boom, there's stuff that's going on. Like you're seeing the performance of the musical on stage. You're seeing Jonathan Larson's life. You're seeing fantasy sequences, and they're all kind of like cutting between each other in the same musical numbers. I mean, Tick Tick Boom is it's a tightrope act of editing. Unfortunately, though, Dragon, I'm going to go with Power of the Dog as will win.
Yeah.
And I really don't think it should win just because that movie is very I love it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, but it's slow, man.
Yeah. Power of the Dog and Dune editing is not their friends. I don't know why they're on the list to a degree. I really don't. Dune's just there because it's in everything. That's why Dune's on there.
Kind of, yeah. And honestly, same with Power of the Dog.
Let me give you a snub. Here's something I think maybe could replace one of these things on the list.
I think you're going to like my snub, but go ahead.
Well, I wonder if we have the same snub. Let me tell you what
possibly.
Nobody.
No.
Okay, well, I seriously.
I'm just not as into that movie as you are.
But even fine, Tiki. That said, what I'm saying though is that nobody has really sharp editing that no one gives it credit for. Is that the editing was really on point in that movie? And it's a really short movie. It's well paced in that regard. I don't know. I think in terms of editing, I think that one would be something like to give it a shot with. I don't know. Mm-hmm. At the very least, the nomination. I don't know. Let's give it some credit where credit's due. Okay, what was your
that guy says, okay, I figured out the movie that annoyed me most out of the Best Picture nominations is Don't Look Up, therefore I'm expecting it to win. Yeah, Don't Look Up, I could see that movie rubbing people the wrong way. I personally didn't really mind it, but it's a very on the nose movie. I personally happen to like metaphorical shit like that, but it's on the nose for sure.
I'm in such a complicated place with Don't Look Up because I respect the heck out of it, but it's not a movie I'd go back to.
Totally.
I really, and
I
that's
feel like a lot of people are in that same space with Devil May
I'd
Cry.
be interested if it won because I kind of respect it even more if it won. I was like, man, I mean, that's I don't know. I'd be impressed
My
if it won.
snub here, Dragon. I mean, animated movies don't often get considered for editing, but I truly think Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Tiki, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. If I could change my answer, I would, because Mitchell versus Machines is a really good answer. That's a legit.
I mean, it would never happen just because I just like the Academy for some reason just doesn't think that animated movies have editing or something. It's
ridiculous because Kevin Nolting, the editor on Pete Docter's films, mainly up like that thing. Kevin Nolting really should have gotten the nomination.
Oh yeah, totally.
Kevin Nolting's he did that, and I think he did Inside Out as well. And that's what I'm saying. Kevin Nolting's the man. We should give the animated editors their due.
All right. Okay, let's see, Dragon. Let me defer to my notes. Where are we going to go next? Wherever shall we go? Okay, these next two are going to go by pretty quickly. We're going to go to makeup and hairstyling. So first of all, coming to America, that's got to be like the Suicide Squad of this year.
I mean, this is the unfair thing.
It does have really good makeup, and so did Norbit, and Norbit also got nominated.
That's what I'm saying. It's just kind of like it's Eddie Murphy playing multiple characters.
Yeah,
what do you expect?
If Eddie Murphy's putting on prosthetics and playing multiple characters, it's going to get nominated. Apparently,
it's just the fact that it feels like it's a given. It feels too much of a given. Like, of course, it's going to look good because it's Eddie Murphy in makeup. He never skimps on the makeup when he does these things. Of course, it's going to look good. Is it Oscar worthy? Given how much of a given it is, I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think here? What are you thinking?
I mean, okay, so I think honestly should and will win. I mean, outside of just the proviso for a lot of this, like, Dune again, but outside of just Dune again, I'm thinking what should and will win is House of Gucci.
Okay. I honestly, think House of Gucci is going to win. I think what should win is The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
I mean, you saw that movie, so you would know better than I.
It's a very transformative makeup job.
But more transformative
House of Gucci, like I have actually not seen House of Gucci, and but from what I know of it, I've heard that the makeup is almost like cartoony in some ways.
I don't know about cartoony, but just for me, the reason I was kind of saying should for House of Gucci is just the transformation on Jared Leto. I mean, Jessica Chastain's one thing, but Leto looks completely unrecognizable.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So based on that alone, the fact they're fancy people, so the hairstyle's kind of covered there. It's like.
I just think Tammy Faye is more subtle but equally impressive.
I got no snubs. I just came up empty on this one.
I actually have a really random one. It's
what
Annette.
Right.
Yeah.
A little wooden boy.
Yes, exactly. It was a wooden girl, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, a little wooden girl.
I mean, that movie did genuinely have. I don't know, man. I'm kind of with you as far as like I just kind of pulled that out of my ass.
Yep.
All right. Anyways, next up, what's the complimentary category to makeup and hairstyling? It's costume design.
All right. So again, here's what I think will win. Again, proviso Dune kind of being like Doom. For a lot of these things. But no, here's what I think actually. So the more spite, again, it's a spite category. It's just to spite me. So either Dune's going to get it or to really spite me, Cyrano. Seriously, that's Tiki. I don't know if I've told you this. That's so the Cyrano movie. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the Peter Dinklage Cyrano, right? Yes. Which is again, it's one of those things where also it's the one that's coming out this year. I think, which is one of those annoying things which the Oscars keeps doing. Like, hey, let's keep.
I think Macbeth is also kind of like that.
It's just, hey, folks, let's not keep things simple. Let's like the 2021 movies are in 2020. We cover in the year that comes next.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So, regardless, so Cyrano just is a movie. It's kind of like I call BS and just like I'm just rolling my eyes all through that trailer. Like, oh god, this is the movie they're doing right now. This is the movie that's given Peter Dinklage occasion to kind of like say what he's feeling about other things. Like, really, this is the one you're like where like Dinklage is on the top of his game with Cyrano.
Cyrano.
It's just like this like the pathetic Romeo like knockoff. Like this is what we're doing. There's this Cyrano is roll. I'm just so like just done with that Cyrano. Every time I see that trailer, it's like this is those hackneyed. Like, what is this? God, it's like we gave the Bush in Romeo and Juliet the movie. We gave the Bush the movie. Anyway, right.
I had no idea you had such strong opinions about Cyrano.
It just feels it's a waste of Dinklage's talent. That's what it feels like to me. That's what really bothers me. It's like he's like. No one talks about the really good movie, which is infinitely better than this. He did with My Dinner with Hervé, which is on HBO. No one talks about that, but like, hey,
The Station Agent, for that matter.
Right. And
have you seen The Station Agent?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, that's really good Dinklage. But
is it good? It's good.
Oh yeah, it's great. I'd highly recommend it if you can find it.
And anyway, so here's what I think should win. I think you might agree with me on this. I don't know. I think you shared this opinion way back when it came out, so I'm assuming it's the same. Cruella. I think Cruella should win.
I have Cruella as should win and also will win, honestly.
Okay. You're more hopeful than I, and I'd like to think you're right. So yeah.
I just don't think the Academy is going to be like the movie is literally about costume design, and those costumes are damn impressive.
I'm going to throw a bit of a snub here, just mainly again the one that could definitely pass, Cyrano or maybe Dune.
You have to say it right, Dragon.
Cyrano. Cyrano. Anyway, so I think the Suicide Squad would be. They had really good costume design. I mean, look at all our villain suits that were realized. We had like off the page costumes realized really well with all the characters. I think costuming would serve that one as well. It's not just like the hackneyed like, hey, let's give Jared Leto the Oscar for that really impressive Suicide Squad makeup from 2016. Like, no.
Okay, so my snub, and it's not like this movie needs any more nominations. It really doesn't. But Power of the Dog.
Really? Is the costuming really?
The reason I say that is because Power of the Dog essentially boils down to 4 main characters.
Yeah.
And I feel like each of their costumes is super distinct.
See, the problem I have is the Western, especially the more we kind of harken back to it. It's just
no, I mean, it's obviously all built on Western aesthetics, but I feel like all 4 of those people are different kind of like, it's, I don't know. I just feel like it's more distinct than the usual, like, because honestly, Dragon, in some Westerns, I struggle to tell the characters apart because they all just kind of look like the same, like, rough and tumble cowboys. But it's like, what I like about the costume design in Power of the Dog is like, Cumberbatch is really the only one who's got that kind of like classic Western cowboy look out of the main cast, and then you have Plemons, who's just kind of like the soft boy that Plemons is. And, Kristen Dunst, and then obviously Cody Smith-McPhee, who's doing his own like weird, like Paul Dano, Eli Sunday thing with his costume. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that movie, it's light on costumes, but I feel like the costumes in that movie are kind of iconic, honestly. Not to mention the stuff like the lasso, like not necessarily a costume per se, but fabrics and kind of worked into the actual plot.
Well, yeah, but again, not exactly kind of a wearable thing, but sure.
And people wear lassos.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they have them around their belts, I think.
That's what I'm saying. It's it's an accessory.
It's a stretch.
Yeah, it's a big stretch. It's a stretch of making a lasso. That's what that is. Like you're stretching the cattle right there. Anyway.
Oh God. Okay. Anything else here?
No, I told you the Suicide Squad. Yeah, the Suicide Squad. That's
right.
Like the James Gunn Suicide Squad. That's my snub.
Okay.
Polka Dot Man had a boss costume, man.
He did. Yeah. And also makeup, for that matter.
That's what I'm saying. I know, especially his makeup. That's the thing. I debated putting that with the makeup, but yeah, it's...
Okay, let's move on to music, original score.
Right. So, I think, again, Dune being kind of like against the big hanging, looming, like, Dune.
I think Dune is going to take this, and I honestly don't really think it deserves it, just because I feel like the music in Dune absolutely works in the context of the movie, but taken out of context, it's literally just a bunch more Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of
worms.
more of the same of what we're familiar with Hans Zimmer. Honestly,
it's the bomb with giant desert worms.
Right, yeah.
So honestly, it's I think Dune's always just kind of like the looming storm cloud with all these numbers. But beyond Dune, Encanto I think is going to if Dune doesn't get Encanto will.
I would like to see Encanto. I have in Should Win. I actually do have Power of the Dog. I actually think the score for that movie might have been the strongest element of it. It was really like, I don't know, for me, I know you're not a fan of the movie, but for me, it was almost like kind of like the score for the movie almost kind of like had a tension in its own right. Like before anything happened, you were already kind of on edge just because of the music. It should have been nominated category. Ironically enough, I have another Johnny Greenwood score who also did Power of the Dog. I have Licorice Pizza. Licorice Pizza actually is a very short score as far as like the composition goes, like original compositions, because most of the movie is needle drops. But the actual score that we get is lovely, just beautiful, like really complements the scenes that it's in. All right.
I think Don't Look Up should get it for score, because seriously, Don't Look Up does have a really nice score. Honestly, it does have like has a jazzy thing in a lot of places. I don't know, it's got a good score. Again, not really blown away by a lot of what's there with this personally for me. But again, I did like Don't Look Up score out of the bunch. But in terms of what I think the snub for me, the snub that really would have gotten it had it been on the list, or at least what should have gotten it had it been on the list. Luca, Dan Roma's Luca score.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that one for sure.
That one would have been like that's my main snub. Which again, had it been on the list, it would have been my.
Okay, first of all, what the fuck is Parallel Mothers?
That's the so that's the Penelope Cruz.
Yeah, it just kind of like Dragon. I swear to God, every year with the Oscars, there's like the one movie that just kind of pops up like totally out of nowhere. It wasn't even in the conversation anywhere else. I feel like this year it's Parallel Mothers because I have literally never heard of it until
I gotta be honest, and I don't think anyone else is gonna have the chutzpah to kind of say this. I'm just gonna give it a shot here.
Oh God.
It's like, I do think there is kind of there is somewhat of an Oscars mandate that we got to cram kind of the different movies in a lot of these categories where maybe they don't necessarily belong there.
Interesting.
Perhaps of just like, hey, let's.
I don't necessarily think that you can like corral that just because of how the voting blocks work, but yeah, you know.
I mean, sure. I don't know. I think it just seems a little suspect. A lot of these movies are kind of like the Parallel Mothers. Really, is that? I don't know. It seems
no, I get it. Anyways, I mean, we'll talk about that more when we get into Best Actress. Suffice to say, that was a big surprise.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have some of these ones that are coming out of left field, and just kind of odd that they're coming out of left field. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Did I say my snub yet?
Well, yeah, your snub was you mentioned your snub. I remember you were kind of siding with me on Luca, but then you had like a snub before that. It was God.
Well, hold on, let me check. Licorice Pizza.
Right.
Yeah.
You liked it, right.
Okay. Anyways, okay. Now on to song.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dragon, as much as I love We Don't Talk About Bruno, I'm actually pretty proud of the Academy for nominating the correct song from Encanto here.
Really? I'm shocked. I mean, you didn't want We Don't Talk About Bruno to be nominated?
I think Dos Arquitos is phenomenal. It's just absolutely soul crushing. I think it's better than Remember Me.
Okay, now I'm gonna say this with love here. I think you're completely out of your mind if you think that song is better.
I think that Encanto is better than Coco.
Fine, whatever.
I don't know what to tell you. I think the characters are better. I think the songs are better. I think the one thing that Coco has over Encanto is the world building. But anyways,
I think it has a lot more than that over.
I am in love with Encanto. You know me.
Fine.
Also, I'm going to throw this out there. If Lin wins this, then he's an EGOT.
Oh, really? This is the one that's going to get him the
Emmy, Tony, Oscar, Golden Globe.
This will get him the clean sweep.
Yep. And I think he has a pretty damn good chance because I have him in Will Win and Should Win.
So I don't have any strong opinions about the original song category this year, but just in general, I mean, I think what you probably should and has a chance it will. I think what should and probably will win. Be Alive, the King Richard
Oh
song.
no.
I mean,
No.
honestly, Tiki had
No, if that wins over Dos Arquitos, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
it's literally going to win because it's Beyonce.
Well, Tiki, by the same token, my assumption was, before I saw the nominees, my assumption with the song was, okay, well, they're probably going to nominate We Don't Talk About Bruno, that's going to get it. But because that's not the case, I think that's going to take the win away from
I honestly think Dos Arquitos has a better shot to win than We Don't Talk About Bruno would have. Honestly, because I just think think about it, Dragon. That song is played in the movie both in Spanish and in English. Like, it's literally the catalyst of the entire climax of the movie, emotionally speaking. I mean, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not as powerful as Married Life, but I think there's some sections of it that are. Specifically that one shot of the young, of young Alma just totally just... You know the shot I'm talking about where she's just like going down on her knees, just screaming and crying as her husband's getting murdered.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, Jesus. Yeah, I think Dos Arquitos it's a masterpiece as far as songwriting goes, in my opinion. I honestly think it's one of the most beautiful songs Lynn's ever written.
Well, I hope you're right.
Literally King Richard is a perfectly adequate movie that's being boistered up by a cult of personality.
Well, again, I think cult of personality is a little presumptuous way to phrase it, but I don't think you're necessarily...
No, it's literally like Will Smith, just like, hey, yo, y'all like me, right? I haven't won an Oscar yet. Give me an Oscar. I did a funny voice.
Okay, you want to hear something funny with Will Smith?
What?
So I've been looking at some audiobooks recently, and I kept
that audiobook is popping up all over the damn place, man. I know what you're talking about.
Well, exactly. Here's what I'm getting at. So I kept flip-flopping over whether to get it or not, because I'm one of those guys. I read all the reviews before I decide to get it. So I'm reading the reviews, and there's always like you have to filter out some bad reviews. But the thing is, the consistent thing I saw with almost all the Will Smith reviews was not so much bad, but just kept saying, man, he's really pompous. He's really bragging about himself throughout this whole book. So I didn't get it ultimately. It's just
and that's exactly what I don't like about the fact that he's pretty much the front runner to win Best Actor. And honestly, I think once we get into the Best Actor category, I think he's on the lower tier there as far as the actual performances go, but we'll get there.
Well, again, regardless, I mean, the Be Alive song, to be fair, it's not a bad song, but again, I'm thinking...
It's literally like, oh, Beyonce, Will Smith.
Okay, I mean, look, I'm saying the song on its own merits, though, without the movie just
It's
connected.
not Dos Arquitos.
I'm not saying it's not Dos Arquitos.
Right.
I'm saying, in itself, not a bad song, but again, I think it's going to get it because it's kind of a song very much, it's kind of like one of those kind of anthem-y songs. It's very much like, let's lead the cause kind of songs. I think it's less Beyonce, more like we're about something, which, to be fair, I think... I'm
going to be pissed.
That's what I'm saying. So I think that's the thing that's going to give it the edge.
Dragon, they need to give Lynn the EGOT, man.
That's what I'm saying. If they give... A part of me thinks if Lin-Manuel Miranda gets it, it's going to be purely because they like him and they want to give him the EGOT. That's what I'm kind of...
Which I think is more justified than just having it be like, oh, it's Beyonce and it's a message.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm with you on that. I think I would prefer it go to Lin-Manuel Miranda because of the goodwill he's put forth and just, throughout all the stuff that he's done versus more Beyonce, more like, yeah, we need to be about something. Well, no, it's just reward a guy who did some good.
Yeah. All right, and my snub, and I actually have had this on my short list for song for a while, but I kind of knew it wasn't going to get in just because this movie very much fell under the radar. Follow You Home from Arlo the Alligator Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, not a very strong reaction.
It's okay. I mean,
honestly, fine. I would swap that out with at least Road to Joy and something somehow you did or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't even know it. What? Sorry,
I think Somehow You Do is the Reba McEntire song. That's the
from 4 Good Days. What the hell is 4? I've never heard of this movie in my life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
Well,
one's
yeah, I
like
mean,
out of
it's like,
left field.
you know, Arlo the Alligator Boy. I'll be the first to admit it's a super charming movie, but it's not a great movie. But it does have some slappers for songs, man.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right.
Okay, so next up, Dragon, with all the Encanto talk, we're going to go to. Oh my god. Is it going to be like yeah, animated feature? Okay, I mean, I think this is pretty cut and dry as far as like I technically have Arlo as a quote unquote snub, but I probably wouldn't put it above any of these. Maybe Raya.
Well, first of all, let's just say it's
But honestly,
strong...
with Raya, I'm just kind of bitter about that just because of the Lindsay Ellis situation.
Okay, well, again, that's kind of unfair against the movie. But...
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's unfortunately the connotation that movie gives off for me.
All right, well, regardless, just to give the lineup credit, this is actually a good lineup of
It is a good lineup, yeah.
Let's say that first and foremost. In terms of, the should and will of it all, I think I have a feeling, Teak. I think Encanto is going to get it this year. I can't explain why. I think Encanto is going to end up getting it.
Okay,
in terms of
the animation community is going to hate me because everyone wants Mitchell's to win, and Mitchell's is fantastic. But Dragon, man, the more I watch Encanto, the more I just fall deeply in love with it. It's become one of my favorite Disney movies of all time.
I know you got to mention it once or twice.
I know, so I got to go with should win Encanto, man. It's I mean, it's just a beautiful story about generational trauma, and it's just a much deeper and more complex emotional story than I think Disney's ever done, even though it's like a bottle episode of a Disney movie. I mean, I think Abuela just like rides that line of being like an antagonist who becomes entirely sympathetic by the end of the story. I just think it's a freaking treasure of a movie. But if the Mitchells versus the Machines wins, I'm still going to be stoked. Don't get me wrong. And you know what? If Luca wins, then yay. You know, good for them. Good for the LGBT crowd, because that movie is definitely like a. That's kind of the thing that I respect the most about Luca. Actually, is the the LGBT coding in it, intentional or not.
I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, the only one that if it wins, it's going to be a little bit of a hollow victory.
Is Raya.
Be Raya, because it's not that Raya's a bad movie. It's just that the other movies were clearly superior in some way, shape, or form.
Like Raya over Encanto? Really? What?
Now, mind you, I prefer Raya to Encanto.
Oh, no.
That's just me.
Oh,
that's just
God,
me.
No.
Again, I'm not saying objective. I'm saying personally.
Right.
Regardless, in terms of what should win, again, obviously, for me, front runner, I really want Luca to win.
Over Mitchell's?
That's the thing, though. I want Luca or Mitchell's to win. I really like Mitchell's. I think I'd be happy. I'd be equally as happy if Mitchell's won. Mitchell's.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Dragon. Luca. The only reason I wouldn't want Luca to win is just because it's just like, okay, another Pixar movie winning it. You know.
But it was a really nice Pixar.
It was a great Pixar movie, and like I said, I would feel very happy for the LGBT crowd with that movie winning.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. And honestly, it's kind of a win-win for. I mean, look, again, Luca's whole thing, where again, it's become kind of an LGBT thing, which again is cool.
The LGBT crowd has embraced it, and rightfully so. Yeah. I mean,
so that's what I'm saying.
Without saying anything derogatory about it, it's a very gay movie.
Sure. So, I'm saying by the same point, it's a win-win if Luca or Mitchell's gets it for that community. It's kind of my point there. I'm just saying, I think Mitchell's be a little more of a direct kind of line to draw there, but yeah, either or.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Mitchell's is that they're just very subtle about it, which I appreciate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the point being, either or, that community is going to.
It's like, it's funny because Mitchell's, it's actually canon, but I feel like with Luca, it's more in your face allegory. You know what I mean?
Sure. And
the relationship drama part of it is like more like the focus of the movie.
And again, I mean, it's kind of strange how that's happened, but it's a good thing though. I mean, it's cool. Regardless, so I mean, Luca, because I personally like, and I think Enrico Casarosa did a really good job, and I like to see him win. The whole the short director going to that and getting an Oscar would be really nice. And just again, I have nothing but love on the rewatch for that film. But the Mitchells really did put in the work, and I think they really would deserve the Oscar if they did get it. So I'm equally hyped for both of those. But also, if Flea wins, now I mean,
that's another one where I'd be totally fine with it, just on the basis of it being a game changer.
That's a thing, not so much for the movie itself, more for what it paved the way for.
That's
what I'd be really excited for if it did win, but purely for that reason.
Okay.
And snub. Ron's Gone Wrong, because that movie is
Oh, I forgot about. Oh, duh. Oh, forget about Arlo the alligator boy. Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised I'm saying that, given my initial thoughts to the
No, I know.
thing. So it's like, that movie
I'm
really
surprised.
impressed me.
I'm surprised. I guess I already had Arlo on my mind from the song category. So, anyways,
because Ron's Gone Wrong is actually about something, which is so rare.
Right. I think Ron's Gone Wrong is like a perfect kind of like supplemental movie to Mitchell's.
Yeah.
I feel like those two would make a really good double feature.
I agree with that sentiment. Yes.
All right. Anyways, Dragon, we are on to our final technical award.
Okay.
Cinematography. Here we go. What do you think?
Okay, I think
Dune.
Yeah, I think Dune's gonna get it. I think Dune's absolutely gonna get it, and that's unfortunate for me, but I think it's gonna get it. I mean, good for the people that made Dune, but I tell you what, I think I mean, they have families. I'm happy for their families that they won it, most likely. But I'll tell you who I think absolutely should win.
Yeah,
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, I honestly need to watch Nightmare Alley again, and I know it's on streaming, so I literally have no excuse not to.
Not just streaming, both on Hulu and HBO Max.
Which is weird, I know.
Yeah.
But, Dragon, honestly, I think it's pretty clear cut. Power of the Dog has been walking away with this everywhere. I think it's a shoe-in.
So they've been winning this in other awards.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well,
like this, I don't know. I'm pretty, and honestly, I think it deserves it. I think besides the music and maybe Cumberbatch's performance, I think the cinematography was definitely one of the more breathtaking parts of that movie. Should have been nominated. I absolutely think. I'm not huge on Licorice Pizza, but there is definitely. Licorice Pizza is just a movie that's just full of those sweet Paul Thomas Anderson long tracking shots.
In terms, honestly, here's the thing. For me, with Power of the Dog, I think it has a few kind of like great money shots in terms of obviously the whole what is it, like the dog, kind of like the area that like the rock formation looks like a dog. Right?
Yeah, right.
That whole thing, obviously, that looks great. The whole, when we do the insert shots of weaving the lasso, that's good too. That's what I'm saying. We have some great money shots like that.
There's a lot of good landscape shots. Yeah.
So I think we do well with that in Power of the Dog. But for me, honestly, I'd pick a different Western as my snub, because I think it kind of maintains that throughout the whole piece in terms of cinematography. Harder They Fall, which no one did, got no awards. No nominations at all in this thing.
What's weird is that I feel like certain Netflix movies are just like, no Oscars for you. And then other Netflix movies like Power of the Dog are like, yes, all the Oscars for you.
It's just crazy. There's The Harder They Fall. It's ridiculous how underrated The Harder They Fall has become. Like, it came out. It was really good.
Still haven't seen it.
I really, if you like Django, Tiki, I think you'd really like this.
Yeah, but that's fucking Tarantino, man. It's not going to be as good as Tarantino.
I mean, look, I'm not saying it's going to be the next Tarantino. I'm saying it's a good Western.
All right. Anyways, have you ever seen 3:10 to Yuma?
Which one? The original or
the remake?
No, I never saw the remake.
It's really good. That's one of my favorite modern Westerns. Anyways.
Anyway.
Okay. So. Yeah, you did say your snub. Okay.
Yeah. My snub's The Harder They Fall, which, folks, watch it.
Okay, now let's move on to the screenplay categories, people.
Oh, I got opinions on this one.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Oh, boy, do I.
Okay, where is it? Oh, writing.
Yeah.
Writing.
Yeah,
let's start with adapted screenplay.
Okay, this is the one where I have things to say.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Okay, so here's what I think will win. I think Coda is going to win.
Really? Coda?
I really do. Yeah, I think Coda's going to get it. Do you remember what Coda's about?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think Coda's going to get
it. I need to see it. It's on Apple TV Plus, of course, so I need to just fucking do the 1, 2, 3 movies thing or whatever.
God, I hate that it's come to that, though.
No, I know.
We want to give them Apple,
more money. I want to give you money.
I do. You won't. That's the thing. I make no compunction about. You know what? Yes, we're gonna have to use underhanded means for that, but you left us no choice. Yeah, we want to give you money, but you won't take it because you're only selling it.
No, and Coda is absolutely the biggest blank spot for me as far as these nominations go. I feel like I'm going in blind with and Coda's been getting a lot of love, a lot of groundswell.
unrelated matter, I want to give Sony my money, but they won't give me the PlayStation for the agreed upon price. It's ridiculous. Still, I want to give them money for games and such, but they won't let me because they won't sell it.
Right.
Anyway,
okay, I'm thinking for this, I have a will win and should win for Power of the Dog.
Okay. I think out of the bunch, I'm saying...
I honestly don't feel too strongly about any of these.
Likewise, so by this one, I think this is the one Dune probably just given again, let me say this before I get in my little rant. So again, in terms of what is presented, I think Dune actually should win this category. Just given that, well, it's literally adapting,
Are you going to do a rant about how the Academy does not respect superhero movies?
Well, no, that's not at all what I was going to say.
Oh, okay, I'm surprised.
No.
Because I was assuming, I was kind of gearing up for like why didn't they nominate No Way Home?
No. That's
okay.
No, I'm saying that it's ridiculous, specifically for adapted. Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Literally, the whole point of Nightmare Alley, the whole thing.
However, I will argue that for me personally, I have said multiple times, I mean, I do need to rewatch it, but I've said multiple times that is not one of Del Toro's better screenplays.
But still, though, it's an adapted work.
It's a good adapted work, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's the fact that whole story is based on Ron Perlman gave him the gift of that book to make the movie.
Right.
He's made it very clear. No, I'm not just readapting the film. I'm adapting the book.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So he has adapted that story in any way, shape, or form, and turned into what I think is a good movie. So I think it deserves the Oscar, at the bare minimum, the nomination for that category.
So should have been nominated. I have two pretty strong contenders here that I feel like they aren't just snubs. They potentially could have won, in my opinion. And that's both of the musicals that are in big Oscar contention this year with West Side Story and Tick, Tick, Boom. West Side Story pretty much did the impossible and updated the original and actually made it a better, more cinematic movie. And I think some of the choices that they made in terms of how they recontextualized songs, how they wrote Rita Moreno's character, I thought it was a genius adaptation. I'm honestly kind of shocked it's not up here. And then also Tick, Tick, Boom for similar reasons, as far as that movie both being a biopic and also pretty much a filmed version of the actual stage play and a theatrical adaptation of the stage play at the same time. There's a lot of heady Tick, Tick, Boom is kind of like the Grand Budapest Hotel of musicals, right? It's kind of like a like a Russian doll of different layers to what they're doing with it. So yeah, I absolutely think that honestly, both West Side Story and Tick, Tick, Boom are better than all five of these. I mean, besides maybe Coda. I haven't seen Coda. Drive My Car, I don't know. Drive My Car is 3 hours long and in Japanese, so it's not I don't know. We'll get to Drive My Car when it comes to Best Picture. I've heard. I'm not shocked that it's up for Best Picture. I've been hearing a lot of groundswell for it. It just doesn't seem like the kind of movie that would hold my attention.
It just seems a little presumptuous to me. The glimpse I've seen of it just seems like, yeah, it's about I think the kids.
I mean, it's no Parasite. I'll give you that much. Parasite had electricity to it.
It did indeed.
Anyways, did I say my snub?
Your snub was oh god, I actually
I literally just
Tick, Tick, Boom. Yeah. You said Tick, Tick, Boom was your snub, right?
And West Side Story, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So writing original screenplay. Here we go.
Right.
I am literally not a fan of any of these.
Let's see. Right.
I think Belfast is just too saccharine and predictable. I think Don't Look Up is too preachy. I think King Richard is super generic. I hate the ending of Licorice Pizza. Worst person in the world, I've heard good things about, so I'm going to go with should win worst person in the world.
Yeah, this process of elimination.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, for me, for original, I think what's going to win, it's going to be either just again, it's a spite. It's kind of a spite category. I think it's King Richard or Belfast is going to win.
I could totally see that because they're literally the most generic movies, not just of this category, but maybe of the whole Oscar season.
Yeah. In terms of what should win, I'm going to say Don't Look Up. Just again, it's kind of.
I would be okay with Don't Look Up winning.
Yeah, and again, I mean, particularly just in like the writing of that film. Again, the execution. Again, it's a little. Again, it's complicated, but still, it's like that movie. Again, it's kind of hard to process, but the movie itself, though, is well made and well conceived. Well, at the very least, it's it's kind of well constructed, just in terms of how it resonates with an audience. That's where things get tricky, regardless. So I think that should win. In terms of the snub, this is more I just kind of threw one in there, but I mean, I kind of stand by it. I'm going to throw a Free Guy in there for original. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually solid. Yeah. It's got good role building. Now, I think with editing, it was kind of like a little bit of a reach, but honestly, like, fucking Mitchell's really should have been here, man.
Well, that's the thing, too. Here's why I was thinking Mitchell's, but you know why I didn't put it there?
Why?
I didn't put it there because, I mean, more so with, I guess you could technically say this about any movie, but especially with the animated films, which again, you and I were kind of more intimate with, kind of how those processes go. There are a lot of changes that happened in the original screenplay. So there's like really different and really grows as the process goes along. I mean, I know there are a lot of changes.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like with Mitchell's, the way that they just crafted that family and made it so believable, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's just kind of hard.
Like all the father-daughter stuff, the moose dragon.
I know, that's the thing. I mean, I don't think you're wrong at all about that.
Just, not to mention all the running jokes, the fact that literally the entire runtime of that movie is like joke after joke after joke, and it still manages to be incredibly heartwarming.
I know, and I agree with all of that, TK. Just the thing I'm having trouble like kind of like resonating with is like reconciling with is again like is that the original like starting place that it kind of ends up being, or do we judge it by the last like rewrite addition to the original screenplay?
Yeah.
But I mean, no,
I don't know.
Mitchell's is a good pick, though. I mean, sure, yeah.
Okay, guys, we're on the last few here. We're on the big boys. Okay,
big boy pants.
No. Oh my God! All right.
So let me tell you about gold, folks. So gold is
there's gold in them there hills.
Yes.
Okay. Directing Dragon. This, so we've been making jokes about Dune,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
What the fuck is Dune doing not on this category?
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. I have there's a big snub you can imagine I have with directing.
What's the snub you have?
Del Toro, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, literally, the movie's nominated, he's not there.
I mean, I think that this is a very competitive category, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, you tell me, you saw West Side Story. Do you think Spielberg? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
I think it's between. Honestly, I think. Between the two, I would give it to Spielberg just because I truly think this is one of the best movies he's done of the new century. Like, it's up there with some of his very best movies of the 2000s. But I really think Power of the Dog is another one. This is another category where it's just running away with all the awards. Jane Campion. It's like I feel like it's about as cut and dry as Chloe Zhao winning the award last year was.
I'll tell you where I'm at on who will win it. I think it's between Spielberg for the fact that he did something, he did a musical for the first time. That might be leaning. He was like, hey, look what he did. Look, did something different. Maybe, and again, I don't know how good it is. You keep saying it's like the second coming for Spielberg. It seems.
I really think it is. Yeah.
So I mean, again, I can't vet that myself, but let's just say you're right. So again, it could be Spielberg for that reason, or the other vibe I'm getting. I mean, if Spielberg doesn't get it just for the reason like he's back and he's doing something different, it would be Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza.
Okay, Paul Thomas Anderson has actually never won the Oscar.
Are you really? Never?
Yeah.
Like never? Like has been nominated for it before?
He's been nominated, but he's never won.
Okay, never won. Was he ever close, you think?
Probably with There Will Be Blood is the closest he got, but that went to the Coen brothers for No Country for Old Men that year.
That was stiff competition.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I mean, look, here's kind of who, again, I think we're missing significant people who should have been nominated. Like
I think Lin-Manuel Miranda was the big snub, even though Denis Villeneuve is the shocking snub. I don't know. I just think Lin-Manuel Miranda, like, it was genuinely one of the most impressive first films I've ever seen from a director.
Wait, what? Which one did Manuel direct?
Tick, Tick, Boom.
Oh, so he did direct. Okay.
He did direct that, yeah.
Okay, that's a good call. Yeah, I mean, in terms of who I think out of what we have here, a part of me is saying Kenneth Branagh should win because just purely...
no.
Well, I say it purely...
Don't give anything to Belfast.
I mean, look...
Belfast is literally the nomad land of this year.
I'll take your word on that. What I'm getting at... I say Kenneth Branagh... Again, I'm not like firm like Kenneth Branagh must win this category, but I'm saying Kenneth Branagh because... Hey, he was able, from what you tell me and from what I've heard about Belfast, it's like Kenneth Branagh making like an autobiographical, film about himself, right?
I don't care if it's an autobiographical film. It's not.
I don't know. It just felt like, felt kind of nice. Like I'm not firmly like kind of on that thing because I haven't seen West Side Story, so I can't like fully get like Spielberg must get this. I can't fully behind that. And then Licorice Pizza, I think, is just going to get it because, again, like, the kind of the marketing campaign behind it.
I don't think this is the movie that Paul Thomas Anderson wins his Oscar for. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of to me, it's kind of a crapshoot with the directing this year. To me, it's just kind of what it seems like. I don't know.
I mean, I just think that Jane Campion has been such a front runner that they somehow forgot to nominate Villeneuve, which is like shocking because I feel like if anyone could have knocked out Jane Campion, it would have been him.
I think Del Toro is the real shock for me, but yeah.
I mean, Nightmare Alley. I'm honestly shocked that Nightmare Alley was managed to get a Best Picture nomination, but we'll get there.
Well, even so, I mean, Del Toro with his directing style, and you got to see all that on screen. I don't know. I think the whole.
I know.
Anyway.
Okay, so Dragon, we've only got a few more. Let's go to actress in a supporting role.
Okay. Ladies first.
Any strong feelings here?
Really no, but I'll tell you. I think the strongest feeling I have is who should win.
Okay.
I think, and again, I haven't seen this movie, but I kind of want to. Sorry, let me make sure I got. Okay, right, it's the right category. Kristen Stewart. Wait a minute, no, that's
no.
Darn it,
wrong category.
Yeah, I forgot we were building to it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, supporting actress. That's. Oh yes, I know. I have a should and will win for this.
Okay.
On Jenny Ellis.
She was an ingenue.
Wait, really? That's how you say it?
An ingenue. Yeah.
An ingenue. Okay, that's funny. An ingenue. Yes, I think she should win for. I think she was really good in King Richard. She was one of the best parts of that movie for me. I think she absolutely should win supporting.
I have a will win and should win with Ariana DeBose. I feel like she was completely magnetic. Rita Moreno won the Oscar for the same role, so I feel like the Academy would really like to kind of like have the synergy there, where it's like, hey, like she came and she crushed it, and Rita Moreno's in the movie. I don't know. I just feel like, honestly, my snub is Rita Moreno for West Side Story. Because I really think that she came in, and it's like she could have very easily just been like you're like, oh, look, she's there too. Isn't that nice? But she actually became like one of the big emotional like centerpieces of that movie in a way that the character that she was replacing never was. So yeah, I think that Rita, like, honestly, I like, as great as Ariana DeBose is, I think it would have been even cooler to see Rita Moreno up there for West Side Story just for the legacy factor. But yeah, I still think Ariana DeBose is going to win. If not DeBose, I think it's going to be Kristen Dunst, even though I'm not. I got to be honest. Like, Kristen Dunst is really good. I just don't think it's amazing.
Yeah, I'd agree with that sentiment. I mean, I don't really I kind of chickened out on my snub on this one because I just had I had one, but I don't think it's like a really good one.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so actor in a supporting role.
All right, I gotta write this down. Okay. All right. Okay, so here's what I think will win. I think you're gonna be happy with this. I think Cody Smith McPhee is gonna win.
Okay, you know what's funny is I have Cody Smith McPhee as winning, but I actually have Jesse Plemons as the should win here. And I'm surprised to even see Jesse Plemons up there. But I just think that Jesse Plemons, like his character in Power of the Dog is such a he's such a pathetic kind of like soft boy counterpoint to to Benedict Cumberbatch. And I just think and Jesse Plemons, you know me, Dragon. I really love him as a performer. I think he's just got a great vibe to him. So
Plemons is great just in anything he does, frankly.
Yeah.
Plemons is great.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have nothing to say about Karen Hines in Belfast. Just that whole movie is just kind of a blur to me.
Yep, Steppenwolf himself.
Yeah. And then Troy Kotzer. I mean, I've heard good things, but it's like we obviously have not seen the movie yet.
Honestly, for me, the should win is it's J.K. Simmons because I think he was like the. Well, thanks for that, but yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd say J.K. Simmons because I think he was essentially the best cast actor in that role, and I think he brought that character to life. The best out of that cast.
Yeah.
Again, it's plus J.K. Simmons. Why not give him a few more on the shelf? But I mean, though, Plemons, I could see Plemons. Plemons would be a good runner as well.
All right, actress.
Oh, wait a minute, snub. I had a
oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, so snub for supporting actor. Honestly, Willem Dafoe.
For what?
Well, that's the thing. Honestly, for either of the two roles, because I thought he was really good in Nightmare Alley, but personally, I think for Goblin here's the thing: we need some antagonists. We need some antagonist support.
I mean, he was honestly like, I never thought it was going to happen, but there was conversation with him. Oh, by the way, my should have been nominated was Bradley Cooper for Licorice Pizza.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I genuinely think it's one of the most compelling one scene performances in a long time, and it's far and away the best thing about that whole movie is all the why am I blanking on the dude's name? Help me. John Peters.
Yeah,
it's all the John Peters stuff. I'm sorry.
Also, the other one I have, just again for another villain, kind of put in the nomination, be Idris Elba he played a really great bad guy in The Harder They Fall. So Idris Elba for that role would have been also really good.
Okay.
Right,
almost there, folks.
Yes.
Okay, actress.
All right, so you know what mine is. So I think Kristen Stewart should get it for Spencer, which I would like to see at some point.
You know what's funny is that I don't really care for the movie Spencer. I heard it described as a 3-hour French perfume commercial, and I'm like, yeah, that's about right. That's about right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not hear the 3-hour French perfume comparison.
It's not a 3-hour movie, but it feels like it. But her performance is absolutely incredible. So it's one of those movies, it's you watch it for the one performance that's getting a lot of hype.
In terms of
I still think she should win, though.
In terms of who will win, I think it's going to be either. I have a feeling it's going to be Penelope Cruz.
It's not going to be Penelope Cruz.
Well, the other one I'm thinking
that movie came out of nowhere.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's a spite pick. We're going to give Penelope Cruz because just why not? Now, in terms of I think the more legit choice be more so. I think it's more on the laurels. You tell me, have you seen The Lost Daughter?
No, I actually have not yet.
So my feeling is it's going to be, if not just out of the left field, Penelope Cruz, it's going to be Olivia Colman. Olivia Colman's good.
I absolutely think Nicole Kidman has this in the bag, and I really don't agree with that.
That's what I think that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping Olivia Colman out of the bunch would get it if she were to win.
I would also be happy with Chastain.
Okay, well, so she was good in that movie then, right?
Very good, yeah.
Better than Andrew Garfield?
No, but Andrew Garfield is really underrated in that movie, though.
Hey, who's your snub?
Who's my snub? My snub is, let me look it up really quick. Sorry. Rachel Ziegler for West Side Story. The Maria.
Right.
It's her first on-film role, and I think she absolutely crushed it. Like a total like star in the making kind of performance, kind of like a who is this girl kind of moment, you know? All right.
Gotcha.
Did you say your snub for actress?
I mean, here's the funny thing. I think I just realized now. Oh God, I don't know if she would necessarily be the lead actress. So I think I have her as a supporting actress in the category. So I think it's. I had Amy Ryan from Worth, but I think Keaton's kind of the lead of that movie. So I think she'd technically be supporting. So I got Bupkis for actress. So
all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, actor in a leading role. I actually think this is a very stacked category.
Yeah. Yeah.
I absolutely think that Garfield should win. Like 100%. I think he's the most deserving.
I agree with that. I think from even what I've heard, I think Andrew Garfield, I've heard mainly from you, I've heard he's really good in Tick, Tick, Boom.
I mean, I'm telling you, Dragon, I'm very familiar with the video clips of Jonathan Larson, you know, the home movies and stuff. And Garfield it's like he just climbs into Jonathan Larson's skin. It's crazy.
I mean, he's always been really good.
But unfortunately, Will Smith is absolutely going to win. Like, it's not even a question.
Likewise, that's exactly what my prediction is.
Yeah, and I think it's honestly kind of ridiculous. I think it's just like, oh, we love Will Smith, you know? Like, that he's literally going to win because he's Will Smith.
Do you agree with Bardem being nominated?
No, actually.
That's what I'm saying. Here are my replacements for honestly for Bardem, and I haven't seen this movie, but it just feels like yet another like, it's Denzel Washington resting on his laurels, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
The main one I think should be on the list. This main snub, Bradley Cooper.
Oh man! Oh yeah, that's
Nightmare Alley. Yeah, he had his big moment without saying what it is, like the ending of that film.
Of course,
I mean, that alone is worth a nomination.
I actually had Nicolas Cage for Pig.
That's not bad. That's actually. Oh man, when's the last time you can remember Nicolas Cage was not? Has he ever been nominated?
I think maybe Adaptation.
Huh. I thought wasn't there the hotel movie
I'm sure he's been nominated before. I'm
Leaving, sure. What is it not blanking on
Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah, so it's okay. Wait, is it Leaving Las Vegas? Is that what it's called?
Hold on.
Where he's in the hotel and he's with the call girl and he's
that's Leaving Las Vegas. Yeah.
Okay, Leaving Las Vegas. I'm surprised he was nominated for that.
He was nominated for. In 1996. Okay, well that's great, Google. You're telling me the years that he was nominated, but not the movies he was nominated for. That's very helpful. Awesome. Anyways, right, 2003, I'm pretty sure was Adaptation. 1996. Hold on, I have to do a cross reference. I'm pretty sure it's Leaving Las Vegas. Yeah, Leaving Las Vegas came out in 1995, so it probably would have been the 96 awards. All right, let's just assume it's Leaving Las Vegas.
Okay, all right. Okay, so the other one, though, I mean, Cooper's the main one, obviously, for, how Nightmare Alley, in particular, the ending, but DiCaprio was my favorite part of Don't Look Up. I thought he was really good in that film. I mean, I'm thinking, plus DiCaprio, the fact that they kind of have to give him a redemption Oscar because we gave him one for Revenant. It was like, really, that's the one we're going to give him the Oscar for? Let's give him,
Yeah, with the Revenant, it's literally like he won an Oscar for the behind the scenes stuff he had to do. Really?
Yeah, that's the thing. You wanted to get if you could kind of do an end game and go back in time and give him the Oscar at a different point in time, it would be like let's give him the Oscar for something like Catch Me If You Can.
That guy, Hollywood loves Will Smith. Hollywood wants to have an orgy with Will Smith.
On many occasions.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I just know that Will Smith has been very actively campaigning too, and so it's like if he's actively campaigning, the people are just going to be like, "We love you, Will. We love you."
See, I think ultimately with Will Smith's nomination, I think it was very transparent. Even when King Richard came out for the first time, this is Will Smith's Oscar bait, and it was a little like, look at me,
and the performance itself is total Oscar bait. The performance itself is just like, oh, I'm going to put on a voice, man. I'm going to put on a voice. Here's this voice. This is my performance. It's a voice, you know? And it's like, whereas Andrew Garfield, like, literally transformed himself and looks and feels and, like, body language is exactly like Jonathan Larson. Will Smith, he's got a voice, you know? He's doing this voice. He's doing this big voice, you know?
Okay.
I'm not doing a good impression.
I think the point is it was more content than it was the performance with that character.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's one I feel pretty strongly on.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, I have no illusions.
All right, let's get to the big one, the big boy.
All right, this is the last one, is it?
Well, not unless you're the 2021 Academy Awards. Okay. I literally expected everything to be up here with the exception of I expected Tick, Tick, Boom to be up here instead of Nightmare Alley. I'm sorry. Like, look, I look, if it were me, I'd keep Nightmare Alley and drop Don't Drive My Car.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm asking for. Is like, yeah, let's get rid of this.
Yeah, Drive My Car. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I was not expecting Nightmare Alley at all. Like, Nightmare Alley for me was barely in the conversation, just as far as like the research I've been doing.
Right.
So I'm happy for Nightmare Alley. Don't get me wrong. I'm just kind of surprised.
Right. All right. So the big predictions. How do you want to do this, Steve? Do you want to start with the snub and then work our way up, or what?
Well, I like I said, I think my snub is Tick, Tick, Boom.
Oh, right.
So I just think Tick, Tick, Boom is it's a movie that really it's about artistic inspiration and artistic struggle, and it's about a lot of things, and it just, like I said, it's kind of like a tightrope act, Rubik's Cube of a musical. I just think there's a lot of great stuff about Tick, Tick, Boom.
So in terms of the snub, I feel what I would like in lieu of Drive My Car would be The Harder They Fall. I mean, because honestly, I think everything else is well represented. It's on the board here. It's like, okay, these are a bunch of good contenders, but I just feel like like that one's kind of like an out of left field, like Drive My Car. It's like, what, really?
Like, every time I see the title, I just think of the Beatles song.
Yeah,
which I know it's actually a reference to, because I know that it's based on a Murakami book, and Murakami has written books of named after other Beatles songs.
Every time I hear Murakami, I can only think of the DCAU's Glenn Murakami.
No, it's a J. I've read a couple of his books. He's actually a really good author. But
no, I believe it. I'm just saying, it's like every time I think of that's the only Murakami I always go to. Uh-huh. Sure, yeah. Anyway, so The Harder They Fall. You can drive my car.
Anyways,
all right. So in terms of what should win, I think it's pretty transparent with me. I think Nightmare Alley should win. Darn it, I think it should win. Because you know what? I loved it when Del Toro won for The Shape of Water. I think I'd like it too if he won another one.
Yeah, it's funny, Dragon. Before I even realized that Tick, Tick, Boom wasn't on here, I had Tick, Tick, Boom as my should win. Yeah. But because it's not on here, you're going to hate me for this. I'm going to go Dune as the should win. The only reason I say that is because I do genuinely feel like Dune was kind of like a watershed moment for blockbuster filmmaking, as far as like Dune really was the biggest thing since Lord of the Rings as far as like a literary adaptation goes. And that counts for something for me. That keeps the spirit of cinema alive beyond just like, the MCU and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm fine with the MCU. I have nothing against the MCU. I'm just saying we also need movies like Dune to really expand the scope of what cinema can be. So that's like, I just feel like Dune winning would be a boon for cinema as a whole, I think. Unfortunately, I do think it's going to go to, I mean, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because it's another, like Power of the Dog is actually like the only reason I don't want Power of the Dog to win is just because I feel like if it wins, it's actually going to hurt that movie's reputation, believe it or not.
Really?
Because people are just going to be like, oh, it's another Nomadland. It's another, like artsy fartsy Oscar bait movie.
Yeah,
that
now you say that, I can see that happening.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And honestly, that movie's bleak as hell, and we don't need a bleak as hell movie winning this year. I would rather go to something like West Side Story, honestly.
Nothing says feel-good movie like Anthrax.
I mean, right? I mean, that's the thing, Dragon. I love Power of the Dog, but I just, like, I feel like with Best Picture, there's, like, a cultural responsibility there. And I just don't think that Power of the Dog, as compelling of a movie as it is, I just don't think it would hold up as far as, like, reflecting the current state of our society. You know what I mean?
All right, so here's what I think is going to win. Okay, I think it's kind of between three things. Okay, so again, I think Nightmare Alley has a shot. I want it to win, so that's why I'm really hoping that. I think it has a shot at winning, just based on the fact that Del Toro's won before, and that was he won for basically the Creature from the Black Lagoon movie, which seemingly did not have a chance, even though it deserved it and actually got it. So I think there's a chance for him. In terms of what I think, again, the unfortunate winner, I think, would be King Richard for a pity Oscar.
Oh, man.
Right?
Oh, God. I mean, that would be worse than Belfast winning.
Yeah.
That would certainly be worse than Power of the Dog winning.
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought my nightmare scenario was Belfast winning, but King Richard might honestly
So that's what I'm saying. I think just based on the
fact at least
that
Belfast,
movie,
it's like, he's going with, like, the black and white aesthetic. That's something.
So that's what I'm saying. So Nightmare Alley feels like to me feels like that's the deserving movie to get the Oscar. King Richard is like it's the one that's been it's been thrown there. It was made to win Oscars, so therefore it's a little less than. It's just kind of made. It's designed to give Will Smith and the movie an Oscar, which feels like a pity Oscar. Now the one I think actually that does have another legit shot at it in terms of kind of the filmmaking role, I suppose, would be Licorice Pizza. That's what I'm expecting to win, if not Nightmare Alley, honestly.
I mean, it's funny because with Licorice Pizza, man, literally the one thing I have a problem with is the ending.
Yeah. Which, again, the ending is a deal breaker for you, and that's why.
Yeah. I feel like everything else about that movie really works, and I wish that movie would have started to wind down, like more close to when we had the Bradley Cooper thing, because Bradley Cooper was like very obviously the climax. Anyway,
I think the Hoffman factor is going to help that movie really get close to the win.
By the way, I'm kind of sad that neither of that movie's leads were nominated.
Yeah,
because I absolutely think they both deserved it.
I realize why I didn't have anyone for supporting it. For I guess lead act. Would the girl from Licorice Pizza be a lead actress?
She would.
So that's what I'm saying.
I would say he would be the lead actor. She would be the lead actress.
So yeah. I realized. I think I was flirting around her being my lead actress.
She is definitely. I would definitely call her a snub, especially like Penelope Cruz.
Yeah. The only reason I held off because I haven't seen that movie, but again, based on word of mouth, I was going to say, yeah, she should be she'd be the lead kind of snub for actress. Yeah.
That guy says, I mean, I would like to have an orgy with Will Smith too. All right.
Will Smith has cool stuff. It'd be nice to kind of see his place.
I just keep seeing that one clip of Will Smith being like, "Oh wow, that's hot."
Can you imagine just if that happens, it's like, oh man, you have to meet his kids and they're all just spoiled rotten, they're lame.
Oh no! Oh god!
That's the travesty. Like, oh god, look at this nightmare.
All right. Okay. Also, that guy really not a fan of Don't Look Up.
Which again, look, that I know it's not exactly one you're gonna look back. Look, I'm with you to a degree, and then I respect that movie. Yes, I understand. It's like not the ending is going to divide people for sure, and just up to that point, it is hammering in the point a lot in the movie. Okay, it's a director very much with a message to convey, but I like that he kind of had the guts to convey it the way he did, and I think I like the way he went about it. Like if he's going to go that far, he really went that far to the logical ends. It's yeah.
He says he's with Tiki. Tick Tick Boom was my snub too. Damn straight. Dune should win. Damn straight. Like I said, just as far as preserving the cinematic blockbuster goes. And then he says, if Don't Look Up wins, I'm never looking up again.
I'm going to quote one of your things, Nightmare Alley. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a return to actually making movies. So that's the thing. And here's the difference, okay? Dune, no ending. Continuation. Nightmare Alley, spectacular ending.
I actually think people give the Dune ending too much shit, because I actually do think it ends in a pretty good spot for a continuation. Like, as far as Paul does go on an arc in that movie. He the character at the start of the movie is not the same character that we get at the end of the movie. There is an arc there. Anyways.
All right.
And not to mention that movie, the ending kind of teases up riding the worms. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let me see that, please.
That guy says I would rather King Richard win than Don't Look Up. Man, he's really got it.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
I mean, look, I really like Adam McKay as a director, man. So even if he kind of got that win, it'd still be like, again, more
that guy.
Than
The
King
funny
Richard.
thing is, that guy, I feel like more people are on your side with Don't Look Up than the people who are like, oh, it's an important film.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think, I feel like even the people that like the movie, think that it's pretty heavy-handed.
Yeah, and that guy's kind of going on to say, it's just, he's kind of exaggerating, kind of like the coming down on Don't Look Up and everything. Perhaps the King Richard thing being an example that I want King Richard to win instead of Don't Look Up, because people basically kind of mocking it. People are acting like it's the second coming. This is a movie with a point. It's a movie about things. Where I mean, yes, but it's a little heavy-handed about things. It's
right.
We're all doomed. Let's celebrate that. We're all doomed.
I mean, hey, 2021.
That's what I'm saying. So the fact the movie's not far off, but not exactly something to kind of tee up and I
mean, I think it'd be more relevant for today's culture than Power of the Dog, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, Power of the Dog is a very good movie that feels kind of disattached from the modern day. I mean, obviously it is, because it's a Western, but
yeah.
I don't know.
So, okay. It's like the movies are an escapist medium. We don't want to see the problems of today too much. We don't want to see literally this is we're like one asteroid away from this.
Exactly.
I mean,
right.
Tiki, do you realize if an asteroid hits, you and I are both goners?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real, and yeah.
I don't stress out about it too much, because it's like, if it happens, there's nothing we can do. It's. Anyways.
Right.
Okay, well, I think my best case is Dune, personally. Yeah, I agree with that. I would say that Dune would be my best case scenario. I mean, honestly, if Tick, Tick, Boom was up there, then that would be my best case scenario.
All I know is if Dune wins, I'm just going to take solace in Villeneuve did not get nominated for director.
Okay, but honestly, the fact that it didn't get nominated for director is exactly why it's not going to win.
Really?
Because historically, there's only been a couple movies that have done that. Argo, specifically, is one that I can think of, where Affleck didn't get nominated for director, but it still won.
Crazy.
For some reason.
Do you think it was the wrong envelope?
All right.
But no one revealed it? It was like, oh God, we read the wrong, we're not going to tell anyone.
What would have won that year if not for Argo?
Let's see. Argo came out in
2012.
Yeah, 2012.
Your favorite movie from that year was probably The Avengers, and my favorite movie from that year was Moonrise Kingdom, neither of which were Oscar contenders.
That's the thing. So that's where my interests were. But
same.
So I don't really know.
Oh, Django, maybe.
Yeah, Django was it.
Yeah. I think Django was probably the front runner, except for honestly, Django really should have won that year.
Oh wait, it was Django and Lincoln. Wasn't Lincoln that year too?
So but Django should have won that year. Just hands down.
No, there you go. Okay, well there you go. Yeah.
All right. Okay, folks. Thanks to that guy for joining us. It's been fun. We'll cover the winners on the Movie Memoirs news section once the ceremony actually happens. We're probably not going to do a full podcast covering the winners, but we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, we'll talk about the big winners and probably if anything massively goes wrong.
Right. All right. And in the meantime, Dragon, I'm going to have to go see Coda and not give Apple my money.
Take that, Apple.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
I'm having Apple